Hi there, it's Alan here, and I'm back in my electronics cave again, this time with quite a lot of progress to report on my pink triangle D to A converter. I've actually started making some upgrades to this. In my last video I mentioned that the power supplies in these things, actually straight out of the factory, are not particularly brilliant. They're just based on standard LM317 regulators, which are rather noisy and particularly susceptible to mains noise coming in. So that's why Pink Triangle actually built these things with a completely separate battery-based power supply for the really top-end versions. So I wanted to duplicate that, only I don't want to use batteries. Batteries actually have quite a few problems that a bit of clever circuit design can overcome. So I built one of these. Essentially, this is a 24 volt or a 24 volt power supply, and it actually contains two of these boards and a couple of toroidal transformers to output four pretty clean 24 volt power supply rails via these XLR connectors at the back. These XLR connectors then feed into the input, the analog input stage of the Pink Triangle DaCapo. And what I've then done is, in order to get rid of the last bit of noise, any mains hum that's picked up, any interference that's picked up by the cables, maybe a bit of digital noise, I've used a whole series of inductors and capacitors here to filter out anything really above about 100 Hz, which is essentially gets rid of anything that I'm particularly worried about. And I then use high quality regulators from linear technologies, or analog devices effectively, to filter that yet further and give me extremely clean plus and minus 20 volt power supply rails on here. So I have two plus 20 volts and two minus 20 volts that then feed into this board. And because they're completely and utterly clean, that means that the power supply going into the LM317 regulators actually on the board here is so clean that the LM317s really don't have a great deal of work to do. And so the power supply rails actually for the OPA 604 op amps that are sitting here, the important audio stage, those are as clean as you can get, and I have to say the audio improvement is quite staggering. I've managed to get this so that I am sufficiently happy with the progress on this that actually I've just sold my name CDS CD player, because the performance I'm getting from this Pink Triangle thing is so much better even than the top of the range name CD player from back in the day. So I'm really thrilled with how this is going. And in my next video I've got a couple more things to report as well, because you may see there's some other modifications that have been going on around here that I've been dealing with. So back to that in my next video.